Okay, let's set up JMX Monitoring in Zabbix. JMX stands for Java Management Extensions. It's a framework for monitoring Java processes, and we can configure Zabbix to connect to a running JMX daemon thread on any of your processes that might be running. Now, commonly people run Tomcat web servers, and you can enable JMX monitoring in that. So I'm going to set up a simple Tomcat web server and enable JMX and connect to it using Zabbix. So I'm going to use an Ubuntu 22.04. So I'm going to install that and install Tomcat. If you already have a Tomcat server running somewhere, you could probably skip the next 5 minutes. I'm just going to show you how I got mine set up. I'm just going to create a quick server on DigitalOcean. So droplets, create a droplet. Going to be a minimum spec, so regular SSD, $6 a month. Ubuntu 22.04. I'll chuck it in Amsterdam. Going to use my existing SSH key. You can use a password if you want. I'm just going to call it Tomcat. Call it anything you like. Okay, that's done. It's given me an IP address. I'm going to copy that and set that up in PuTTY. So IP address, port 22. I'm going to name it Tomcat, just save that, my SSH key, and also change the appearance so the text is larger. Okay, go back to session, save that again. Now double click it and open it. Okay, I'm going to log in as root, and it's using my SSH key. Okay, so I'm on my brand new server from DigitalOcean where I'm going to install Tomcat, and that's the external IP address of it there. I'll need to use that several times throughout the video. Okay, so I'm going to create a specific user for my Tomcat web server. I'm going to call it Tomcat. Just going to copy that line and put that in like that and press enter. Okay, I have a new user called Tomcat on the system. Okay, just going to update the package manager cache. So sudo apt update. Okay, done. You're going to install the default JDK because Tomcat uses Java. Okay, I'm just going to check it's working. Okay, Java version. Okay, so I've just wanted to open JDK 11.06. So you probably have that number or something higher. Okay. I now need to download the Tomcat core binary. So I've got a command already prepared. It's going to be version 10.03. There may be later versions. So copy that and paste, enter. Okay, that's downloaded the file. I can now extract the downloaded file. So copy that, paste that, and enter. And that's saved it to a folder called OPT Tomcat. So let's just change the ownership of the OPT Tomcat folder to my new user I created before called Tomcat. And it's also in the group Tomcat. Okay, so right click, paste. I'm going to make all the files executable. Right click, paste. Now CD into the folder, CD OPT Tomcat LS/LH, and we can see that all the files in that root folder, OPT Tomcat, are all owned by the Tomcat user and group. Let's go into the bin folder, so CD bin LS/LH, and there are a number of files in there that we can use to manage Tomcat. And all the SH files have the required permissions for my Tomcat user and group. Okay, so this is a very simple install of Tomcat. You may have something a lot more sophisticated, but I'm just doing something minimal so I can show you how to connect to it using Zabbix. Okay, so we run the Catalina sh script from this folder, opt tomcat bin, and I'll run the command start. Okay, so if I right click and paste that, Catalina start, Tomcat is now running. It says Tomcat started. And we can visit that in the browser, provided I don't have any firewall rules blocking port 8080. So let's just open that up. I'm going to use the external IP address of my server, that one there. So copy that to clipboard, a new browser, :8080. And that is the Apache Tomcat default homepage. So it's a minimal setup. A lot of things don't work on it. For example, the manager app doesn't work. I need to follow the instructions if I want that, but I'm not going to set that up. This video is about JMX, so that's good. That's a web server, absolute minimum, but yours could be running something quite complicated and you might want to monitor it. I'm just showing you something nice and simple because there are a lot of steps to get this to work in Zabbix. Okay, so I've just visited the URL 8080 and you'll put your IP address in there, not mine. Okay, and you should see the Tomcat homepage like I did. We now need to add some more configuration to the Tomcat so that we can enable the inbuilt JMX daemon there to return some monitoring data that we can read in Zabbix. Okay, so in the same folder where we're at, OPT Tomcat bin, we create a new file called setenv.sh. So sudo nano setenv.sh. Okay, so sudo nano setenv.sh. It's a brand new file. We need to put some things in there. I've already prepared something. Okay, so copy that. Okay, if you right click in Nano, it will paste that in. It's quite a long line, so you have to scroll back to the beginning to see it. Okay, so Catalina options, DCOM Sun Management JMX Remote, Management JMX Remote, port 9000. I'm using port 9000. You can use a different port if you want. So Management JMX Remote, SSL false. I'm keeping this nice and simple. If you're doing this in production and you're doing this long term, you should be using SSL if the data is traveling across a public network. Sun Management JMX Remote Authentication equals false. You should also enable that. But I'm just going to keep this nice and simple and quick. Now this is important. The Java RMI server host name equals the IP address of the server running Tomcat. Now you can leave this whole section off if you wanted to, and just keep deleting until I've removed that whole section. But actually, I'm going to put in the IP address of my server. Otherwise, I won't be able to connect remotely to it using Zabbix. So the IP address of my server there, Tomcat, just right click that, and that's it there. It's quite a long line. Okay, so remember that's important. If you leave off that whole section there, then only local connections will be allowed, but I'm allowing remote connections and I have to tell it what the host name of this server is. Okay, so Control X to save and yes to save that buffer, press enter. Now LSLH, just to check that that setenv sh now exists in that folder. Okay, there it is, setenv.sh. Now I need to make it so that the Tomcat user can read that. So, okay, so down here, okay, so chmod. First, I'm making it executable, so okay, we can just double check that. LSLH, okay, so it's now executable. It shows up green on PuTTY. And I'm going to change the owner to being Tomcat, LSLH again, and the owner is now Tomcat and group Tomcat as well. Okay, so that's good. Now we can restart the Tomcat web server. So stop, Catalina sh stop, okay, and Catalina sh start. Okay, and here it's also shown all my JMX settings that I've just added to Catalina options there. So that's good. I have a simple Tomcat server exposing JMX monitoring data. Now I can continue to connect to that and read that in Zabbix. Okay, so just to test that before I do that, I can check that the port 9000 is open and accepting connections. So SSNTLP grep 9000, and it shows me it's listening on port 9000. So very, very good. Okay, now into Zabbix. I'm going to log on to my Zabbix server using SSH. Okay, so this is my Zabbix server I'm on now. This is not my Tomcat server anymore. So I'm also going to log on as root. Okay, this is my Zabbix server, root at Zabbix. Okay, I'm going to do a quick telnet to my Tomcat server from my Zabbix server just to see whether I have any network firewall blocking. Now I don't, but you may have this and you will have to manage your firewalls, but I can use a program called Telnet to do that. I'll use the IP address again, copy, just right click to paste, port 9000. Okay, so that shows me that it's connected. So it's connected to that IP address on port 9000 there. If I just write something, anything, and press enter, it will disconnect me because it's not the message that it was expecting to receive. But that just by itself shows me that my Zabbix server can connect to my Tomcat server on port 9000. So if that doesn't happen for you, you can't connect from your Zabbix server to your server running Tomcat or JMX Daemon, then you need to solve that problem. Anyway, let's continue. I'm going to create the host inside Zabbix now. Okay, so I've logged onto my Zabbix server, configuration hosts, and I'm going to create a host. But before I do that, I'm going to look at the templates that are available. If I just search for the word JMX, we can see there's a lot of pre-built JMX templates in Zabbix already. I'm going to set up a host that will use the Apache Tomcat by JMX template. But you can set up JMX templates for other things if you like, say Wildfly, ActiveMQ, Cassandra, Kafka. If you don't have the template that you want here, just use the generic Java JMX template for starters until you find something better to use. But that is pretty good. There's a lot of items already, a lot of triggers, graphs. Anyway, I'm going to create the host to use the Apache Tomcat by JMX. So back to hosts, create host, call it anything you like. I'm going to call it Tomcat. The template, you'll find it in templates applications. So Apache Tomcat by JMX, select. Need to put it into a group. I think templates applications sounds pretty good. Select. Interfaces, add, and we'll select JMX. Now the IP address from the perspective of my Zabbix server will be that. So I put that there. That's the public IP address of my Tomcat web server, where it's also exposing the JMX daemon. Okay, the port, remember, was 9000. Okay, I'm not monitoring this via proxy, but you could do that if you wanted to. You just have a few more steps to do to set up the proxy. Okay, so add that. That's good. My new Tomcat host is there now. The JMX icon is not lit up green yet. It's enabled, but this isn't going to work yet. There are still a few more problems to work through, but I'll show you what one of those problems looks like. If we go into the Tomcat items here and we look at the item, I'm just going to press it and go right down to the bottom. You see this button here called test. And if I just run get value, it's going to say Java Gateway configuration parameter not set or empty. Before Zabbix can read JMX endpoints, it needs a Java Gateway process running that it will use. And so because I've already installed the Zabbix repository on my Zabbix server, that's how I got Zabbix in the first place, there is another process that we can install from that called the Zabbix Java Gateway. So if we go down my documentation a little bit, that's the command that I'll run, sudo apt install Zabbix Java Gateway. So on my Zabbix server, I'm SSH'd on my Zabbix server, right click, sudo apt install Zabbix Java Gateway, enter. Very good, that's done. We can check its status. Enter, and it's active running already. Now it has a default configuration. This is good enough, but you can read that if you want to. That's the command there to read it and modify it. But the Zabbix Java Gateway is now running locally on the same server as my Zabbix server. And my Zabbix server will use that as a relay to make those JMX queries to my Tomcat server, which is an external server. Okay, now it's not over yet. If I try to test that again by doing get value, it's still going to say there's a problem. We need to update the Zabbix server configuration to tell it where this new Java Gateway is running, even though it's local. Okay, so to edit the Zabbix server configuration, sudo nano etc Zabbix server conf. There we go. Now we need to find the Java parameters. So Control W will allow me to search. I'm just going to type the word Java, enter. Okay, next one, Control W again, Java again. Next one, Java Gateway. That's the first one. I need to set that to being local, so 127.0.0.1. So that's one of the parameters. Java Gateway port, that is 10052 by default. You can uncomment that or not, doesn't matter because it's a default. Now I need to find the next parameter, and that's the Java polars. Uncomment that. You can set 1, 2, 3, or 5, range up to 1000. I mean, 1 should be enough, but you can set 5. Anyway, doesn't matter. Control X to save that. Yes, enter. And now to restart Zabbix server. So sudo service Zabbix server restart, and provided you haven't made any mistakes, that should be okay, just like that is. On my documentation, I also have that written down here, what I just wrote. So just find those. Now, going back into Zabbix, let's do a test now. Get value. Okay, so it's actually worked this time. Zabbix server has gone to the local Zabbix Java Gateway and made a request to the parameters that I put in earlier, that IP address on that port, and has got back a response, Apache Tomcat 10.0.23. So that's good. Get value and test, there we go. Another one, cancel that. So let's just update that, and so far that is good. The JMX icon is now green. Now, if I look here, there's only one item, but it has 4 discovery rules. If I go into that and just click all those and do execute now, after a short amount of time, we should get a lot more items showing up. Okay, so there we go, 30 items now. Press that again, 35 items. There's a lot more items there now that it's testing. It has also created 7 graphs and a few more triggers for us. So that is working pretty good. Okay, so now if I go to monitoring latest data and select my host being Tomcat there and apply, I can see here that it's not showing up latest data for everything just yet. Those items there are all created from the discovery rules, but after some time we'll start getting that data. I'll just press apply again. Not yet. Okay, after a minute or two you start to get data. So there's 2 seconds ago. Try that again. 8 seconds ago. So it's starting to get data through now. So I can actually look at the graphs on that. So monitoring hosts, Tomcat there, graphs 7. If I look at that for the last 5 minutes, I can see that data is now coming through. So if I go back to my Tomcat web server in the browser and just refresh that a few times, refresh, and maybe press a few different links. Documentation, configuration, Tomcat setup, examples. So that should now show up in my Zabbix monitoring as some kind of activity. So last 5 minutes. Okay, last 15. Give it a little bit more time, and those graphs should look a lot more interesting. Anyway, that's setting up JMX Monitoring in Zabbix. There is quite a lot of steps, so just double check everything. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, check out my official Zabbix course on Udemy and other platforms. There you go. So Skillshare, Udemy, YouTube, if you want to know a lot more about Zabbix. Excellent.